All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Tales at 2. Thank you again for joining us this afternoon. Welcome to any new folks that have not joined us yet. Hopefully you'll enjoy this and come back and visit with us again. So these broadcasts happen every weekday at 2 p.m. We're hoping to continue them as long as we possibly can. So Cedar Run is still open for certain things. We still have our hiking trails. We still have our wildlife housing area. We are still accepting animals in our wildlife hospital, but unfortunately our nature center is closed. So we're hoping to reach out to folks like we're doing today and just kind of rope you into some nature activities and learn a little bit. So this afternoon's topic is Learn to Love the Unloved. I had posted in our event earlier to see if anybody had any guesses on what our animals may be. We had a lot of different guesses. I'm not telling you yet, we're keeping it a secret. But just to switch things up a little bit this afternoon, we're going to start with a bit of a story. And then we're going to check out our mystery animal. All right, so today's book is Vulture Verses, Love Poems for the Unloved. I'm writing friendship notes. I love sending cards to all my friends, and I don't want to forget anyone. But look outside. I see someone who probably never gets a note or a birthday card or even a Valentine. I'm going to send a card to him and to all our other secret friends. Turkey Vulture, please be mine. Not because you soar so fine, because you rock on cleanup crew. Not rot is left when you are through. Just by eating what has died, you kill the germs that grow inside. You deserve it, it can be said, a pat upon your bare red head. Spider, I could give you hugs because you eat those garden bugs and insects who might sting or bite, but I won't try to squeeze you tight, lest I squash a friend so fine. So go on spinning out your line of silk to catch those insects who gobble leaves my garden through. Skunk, although you sometimes stink, you're sweeter than most people think, because you eat each buggy pest that thinks my garden tastes the best. You chomp each beetle on the vine, so be, dear skunk, my Valentine. Oh, fly, though no one thinks to ask, recycling is your secret task. You eat the things that die or spoil and make them part of growing soil. So though I shoo you from my plate, you're someone I appreciate. You're snakes some people run or yelp. Instead, I thank you for your help. You guard our food from beans to rice by eating all those rats and mice. So I'll not fuss, I'll let you be. Please slither on with love from me. You buzz around, you bite my arm. I must admit you do some harm. But mosquito, let's note too, there is some good in what you do. You pollinate as you go round, helping plants spring from the ground. I will, behind my screen shut tight, give you a hand, but not to bite. Your stinger is like Cupid's arrow, very sharp and very narrow, but sharpness doesn't quite compare with what you give us from the air. I love the blooms you pollinate, the honey sweet upon my plate. So I'll ignore your sharpest end, because, dear bee, you're such a friend. I love you, bat, you eat in Maine, those moths who dine on fields of grain. And then mosquitoes you devour, sometimes 600 in an hour. Some bat straight to the fruit you go. When you drop seeds, more fruit will grow. So thanks for eating what you do. My heart goes out to you. At nighttime, visits possum go, searching down each garden row. For snails and slugs they find sublime. So dear possum, please be mine. Come through my garden any day or night. I mean, your time to play. So many more cards to write, so many animal friends. I may need some help. Do you know someone who is misunderstood? Will you help me write some friendship notes too? And so that was Vulture Verses, Love Poems for the Unloved. So we're going to switch over to our special guest, but before we do that, who has some guesses? It is an animal that was in our story. let's pan over. Let's see who we've got this afternoon. All right, who is it, friends?
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rachel. This is Phoebe. So I'm sure you know Phoebe had her debut here last year. She's kind of a rare animal to see when you see her at Cedar Run because she is a nocturnal animal. So she's going to be hiding for most of the day. So if you've come to visit us recently, she's probably been inside of her enclosure just kind of hanging out. So this might be the first time a lot of you have seen her out and about. She is a really, honestly, I think she's adorable. I think she's really cute. But the reason we have her is because she was actually a pet at one point. Somebody tried to keep her as a pet. Unfortunately, that's a really bad idea. Skunks do not make great pets. They are nocturnal animals, so they're up and about when we're, when we're asleep. They are really fantastic diggers. They're really fantastic for breaking apart big logs and things like wasp nests and like ant holes and termite mounds because they're eating the bugs inside. So they're really great for that. Not so much for, living in a house that has drywall and floors, things like that. So we do have her. She is descented, and that's unfortunately the reason that we can't put her back out into the wild. Okay, I'm going to take her out so that you can take a look at some of her features, and maybe she'll stop moving a bit. Come here. Oh boy. Now notice I do have to wear the big gloves because she does have these really strong claws that she's using to scrabble around. And she does have some pretty sharp teeth as well. And of course she's going to try and climb all over me because that's what she does as well. Come on. There we go. All right, there you go. Now I described her earlier as kind of an unwieldy cat, but she's a little bit more than that. She does have some fantastic adaptations to help her dig around and help her look for food out in the wild. She does have, like I said, she does have those really big claws. You notice that she's sniffing around a lot. She actually does not have the best eyesight. She does have some pretty good hearing, but her sense that she gets the most information from is her sense of smell. So she's going to be smelling around all sorts of places, trying to find out what's tasty and what might try and threaten her. Now, not too many things are really going to threaten her because you guys know skunks have that smell, right? Well, most animals are going to see that big black and white coloring and know immediately that this is a skunk and this is nothing that you should mess with. So for the most part, skunks in the wild are pretty much going to go around wherever they want to, pretty much unharmed for most of their time. If we were to do that with Phoebe, if we were to let her go out in the wild, she would still act like that, but she wouldn't be able to survive because she doesn't have any sort of defense. She does have those claws, but they're more for digging around. They're not for trying to harm a predator that might try and get her.
There are a couple questions.
Yes, please.
Lainey asked if she can swim and how old she is and how old will she get.
So I believe she can swim, to answer that question. She probably can't swim very well, but she can swim well enough to get across a stream if she needs to. She's not going to swim across a lake, though. She is about 3 years old now, I believe. When we first got her, she was only about 4 months old, and she was a little terror then, as she is now as well. Come here. As to how old she will get, skunks in the wild, come here. Erin, you want to give me a hand? Yeah. All right, let's see you shook it down. Come on. There we go. Okay. So skunks in the wild are probably going to get to be about 5 years old or so. In captivity, she can probably reach 7 to 10 years of age. Any other questions?
If an animal were to try to eat her, what predators would they be? Gregory, age 9.
For her case, her main predator is actually going to be one of the other animals that we have here, and one of the other really common animals that we have at Cedar Run in New Jersey. It's big, also flies around at night, and they think they're a tasty snack because they can't smell anything. If you haven't guessed yet, it's a great horned owl. So great horned owls actually can and do eat skunks regularly. They're one of the few predators that skunks have. For the most part, any mammal or anything with a sense of smell is going to smell them a mile away and leave them alone.
Why can't she spray?
Why can't she spray? So she was descented. Now what that means is that when people try and have them as a pet, they actually take out the organs that make the smell. It's kind of like an oil. So they actually take out the organs. It's a little like spaying or neutering your dog or your cat. So it is an operation and they can't grow anything back. So she doesn't have any defenses anymore. Okay. Now we did mention that she does like to eat bugs. She does like to eat, she's going to dig around for things like termites and ants and wasps and grubs. She's actually one of the few animals that will like to eat wasps and bees. And they will dig around into the ground and find all those ground bee nests and the ground wasps and all that. Her hide and her fur actually help protect her from being stung. So that fur actually does a great job of keeping her safe too. Now, she is an omnivore though. If you remember what an omnivore means, it means that they're eating plants and animals. So in addition to eating bugs and maybe an occasional egg or something like that, she might also like to eat some berries. She'll eat some fruits and vegetables, things that she'll find around on the ground.
Laura would like to know if she's ever had babies.
She has never had babies. As part of keeping her here, we actually had her spayed as well. So she will not be a mom. So, yeah. I mean, Cedar Run isn't really equipped to handle babies anyway. We kind of let the babies out in the world.
How does she know someone is coming? 4-year-old.
She does have a pretty good sense of smell. Like I said, you can see her sniffing around all over the place. She actually does have hearing as well. She can hear better than we can, so she can hear us coming, definitely. But like I said, they're not too concerned if people are coming around because we're not really a threat for them. If we are a threat, if she does get scared, you might see skunks do a couple different behaviors that'll let us know that she's about to spray. One of the things that she'll do first is she'll start back a little bit. So she'll kind of jump a little bit and her tail will actually go up into an S shape. When it does that S shape, that's pretty much like the first sign that she's getting a little startled, she's a little scared, she's trying to figure out what's going on. The next thing she'll do she did find something to eat. Very cool. She found something that was interesting. There might be some grubs underneath. You can definitely see her nose working. Maybe she'll use her claws to dig it out if it's really interesting. Or maybe not. So one of the other things that she'll do is when a predator keeps coming after her, she'll let out another warning, and that warning is a stomp. So she'll actually put her front feet down and she'll kind of slam them on the ground. Okay? And what that does is that warns the predator that, hey, I'm serious, you're bothering me, leave me alone. Okay? And then the last thing she'll do is if the predator is still trying to get her, she'll turn around and she'll wiggle her butt at them, and that's the last sign, it's the last straw. After that, if the predator's still trying to get to them, that's when they spray. So even the skunks don't really want to spray. They give every chance to get away first.
Are they considered scavengers?
They can be scavengers to an extent, but for the most part, I want to say they're more opportunistic than scavengers. So if they find something on the ground, they might try and get to it, but they're not actively looking for like a dead whatever.
Evelyn would like to know if her fur is soft.
Her fur feels like a long-haired dog. So if you think a long-haired dog is soft, that's what it feels like.
Does their fur grow more white with age? We had an old skunk roaming daily in our neighborhood that looked like, I can't really finish it because it kind of...
Well, I don't know.
That's a good question. Whether they get white with age. I'm not sure. I imagine they probably would if they get to an advanced age, but it depends on whether something gets to them or not. So hopefully...
Their color varies a lot too, so sometimes the skunk might be a lot more black, or it might be almost completely white with just a little bit black. So they do vary a lot in their color too. Could just be a different color variation.
That's true too. They're definitely born different colors as well. So, I mean, not different colors. They're still black and white, but different degrees of black and white. So,
Can she climb trees?
she can climb a little bit, but she's not really adapted to climbing trees. She would much rather go under a log or under a bush. Guys, got any other questions? These are good questions.
Where do they live? What kind of house?
For her in the wild and in New Jersey, they're going to be mostly in forests, and they definitely like logs. They definitely like holes, or maybe an old fox den or an old groundhog den they'll go into. They like a lot of leaves in there. They like a lot of leaf litter and brush, so they'll hide out in there too. She's very excited that she's out and about right now. If you come and visit her in her enclosure, she'll also have a lot of enrichment in there. So we've mentioned that before. Some of our animals are a little more curious than others. So she's one that we try and keep active because she'll try and do things to her enclosure. Skunks are fantastic diggers as well. So they're not going to dig an entire colony area like a groundhog, but they will dig out a hole. They will dig out of their enclosure if they tried to. If she really, really wanted to, she probably could give it a good go. But
Do they live in a family?
that's a good question. So the mother skunk will definitely take care of the babies until they're old enough to go out on their own. Usually it takes a couple months to a year before the babies are old enough to go out. But after that, once the babies are grown, the mothers go off on their own, the babies go off on their own, and the same with the dads. So the dads don't really take care of their babies either. So they just kind of go out.
Does she make a noise?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know that I've ever heard her make a noise. I know they do, I just don't remember what it is. That is a good question. That would be a good question to look up too. You can see she's kind of strong too. She's actually moving the enclosure here a little bit.
She's chewing on it.
Yep. Oh my goodness. But do you see, she's trying to get out. She's trying to get under it, so. Oh my goodness. Oh, Phoebe. Oh, Phoebe. Come here, you want to sit up for a minute? We try not to anthropomorphize the animals too much. That means give them too many human characteristics, but it's kind of hard with her. She's really cute.
Does she talk to other skunks? That was from a 4-year-old.
Does she talk to other skunks? That is a good question. So one of the future videos that I want to do is actually do a night cam in her enclosure to see if anybody comes and visits her at night. But if she were going to talk to other skunks, it would probably be mostly with smell. So they, in addition to having their smell, their stink, they also have other types of smell that are used as communication with other animals too. Okay? Now she is kind of in the weasel family, which is why she's a little squirrely too. So she's definitely active. All right, back down again. Out of my shirt. Thank you. You can finish it.
What does he or she eat?
wants this here sheet. So here we're gonna give her a huge variety of things. She really, really likes green peppers. She really likes fruit. I think bananas might be a favorite. I'm not sure about that one. But I know she definitely likes green peppers. And she definitely likes bugs. So if we catch a live bug anywhere, she'll definitely try and eat it. Okay? All right. So I think she's getting a little, like I said, she's getting a little squirrely. She's getting a little anxious to get out. So I think we're going to put her back into her enclosure. So thank you very much, everybody, for sticking around and for joining us for this live stream. And hope to see you again. Don't forget to donate. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all of that fun stuff. I don't know if Miss Erin mentioned it, but we have a YouTube channel now. So if you missed this video, it will be on YouTube later. So thanks for joining us. Have a good day.